Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Mesolite Visual. I am Dominic, and if you ever imagined or had a thought to create a unique floor plan presentation for your project, set yourself a step ahead of your competitors in ArchiCAD. In this video, I'm going to help you create white on black theme for a floor plan presentation in ArchiCAD. This is also useful for creating drawings for your portfolios, marketing and advertising yourself digitally on social media platforms such as Pinterest and Instagram, just to name the few. To follow along with this tutorial, please download the project files from the link provided below. If you choose not to follow along, you can still download the project and the theme using the link provided. Additionally, all the assets used in creating our YouTube videos are available on our Patreon membership platform. Explore the shop feature on this platform to access all the products designs to enhance your architectural workflow. It's important to note that all the products in the shop feature are freely accessible for all our members. Speaking of our members, let me take this opportunity to thank Martin Sabo and Khaled Richard for their kind support. It's much appreciated. Without any further ado, let's get straight into ArchiCAD. To get started, we need a project to use. Check the link on the description to get this project in order for you to follow along with this tutorial. The first thing, if you look at this project, is just to add a few more details to make it interesting. So one thing that I'll start with is the room labeling. As you can see, we just used the text to label the rooms, which is not an appropriate way of doing it in ArchiCAD. So I'll quickly just go to the design tool palettes here and then find the zone tool to label all the spaces here. So I'm going to zoom in to start with this kitchen and dining, and then because this is not an enclosed space, as you can see, it's an open area. So we have construction method in order or how to place this in ArchiCAD. So as you can see, we have options there to pick and use. By default, this construction method, which is called inner edge, will be selected, and we have also that is similar to that, which is the reference line. Normally what this, or how does this works, it picks the inner edges of the boundary created by elements, which is walls. For example, if you look at this space, it's an example area or situation to use these two construction methods. So for a situation like here where the spaces are open, the best method is to use these two, which is the polyline method or rectangular method. So in this case, I'm gonna pick the rectangular method and then pick the first point of this corner. No, let me escape. I could have started with this one or somewhere here, right? I'll pick this corner and then draw a rectangle to the other corner diagonally. So we have the hammer cursor in order for you to place your zone. So I'll just place a hammer cursor, and then that will allow me to place a label. If you have the option for annotation active, it will automatically place the label for you. So if you uncheck this and then you go back again, let's do for the lunch, I'm gonna start from this corner going all the way here, then place. So it won't place the label automatically for you if you uncheck the place label. By default, it comes active, so it will depend on you. So I'll go ahead and do the remaining spaces. I'll do the bedroom. This one I would use the inner edge and then click on inside the space, then place the label. We have the toilet here. I'll do the same, and I would do the patio by using a rectangular method for this area, like that. And then we have the carport for the garage. Perfect. So I'm going to delete all the text. So in order for you to select all elements once in ArchiCAD, you go to the elements tool and then Control A to select all. So in this case, I'm going to say I'm going to go to the document section, right? That's where you can locate the text tool. I'll activate the text tool on the tool palette, then I hit Control A in your keyboard. That will select all the text, or you can apply to any elements in ArchiCAD. So for example, if you're going to do walls, you activate the wall tool and then Control A to select all the wall. If you're doing dimensions, you can do the same thing, activate the dimension tool and then Control A to select all the elements that are on the same dimension tool. I think I don't want to delete this one. I'll shift hold and deselect the title, then I can delete text. All right, so I need to select all these zones and define or give them a name, for example, space name. So in order for you to select, as you can see, if I try to select, I pick the slab. So ArchiCAD, normally you would have a lot of elements on top of each other. There is a selection criteria you can use to go around that kind of situation. For example, you have a tab in your keyboard. There's a tab key in your keyboard. So if you tab once, it will give you another option within the same position. So in this case, you can see it gives me a zone. I can select it or click on it to pick it, right? And then let's give it this is a kitchen. Oh, sorry, I use caps. Kitchen / dining. Okay, and then hit enter. I don't know why the label is not changing, so let's just delete the label for now. Select the one for lounge and give it a name. We do for the bedroom, like I said, you tab in your keyboard and then click to select your zone. So this one is going to be bedroom. We have toilet. I'll tap and then click to select. This is WC. We have a patio here, and then we have lastly the garage. Okay, perfect. Let's place now the title to, or the text to all these zones, spaces. So I'm going to go to documents under design tool palettes and then activate the label tool, and then I'll go one by one and label that, but this is gonna take much of your time if you'd want. So for example, let's hit tab and then click. It picks the zone number instead of this the zone label. So what we need to do is to go here on the settings dialog for this label and then choose the zone label. Let's hit OK, and then if you click, it will give you the proper labeling of your space. So you could see I'll have to go one by one and do that, but there's a quicker way of doing it. You can imagine if you're doing a commercial project. Let's just select all this and delete. You can imagine if you're doing a commercial project with a lot of spaces and you have to go one by one and trying to place the label. So the fastest way to do it is to select all your zone and then apply the label once to all the selections. So we're going to activate under design tool palettes, activate the zone, because we want to select all the zones for our spaces. So I'm going to hit Control A to select all the zones. From here, I will go to documents and then annotation. Let's find a feature called label selected elements. There we go. We've labeled all the elements in our zone. One thing that I want to do also is to take advantage of the selection of the zones and then go to the settings dialog to get rid of the color of the zones, as you can see. So I want just to have a plain a consistent color throughout my drawing. So I'm going to go back to the settings of the zones here under floor plan section. All right, let's activate the add or remove cover fill. Then I'm going to change the cover fill to something like airspace, and then from there we have to change the cover fill background pen into a transparent material. Once you've done that, you can hit OK to apply the changes. You see now we have just a plain or a consistent color throughout our zones. Okay, one thing that I want to change is I might also think of removing the number the number on the zone label, but for the sake of this demonstration, let's just leave it. I'll just maybe adjust the position of this to make it interesting, something like that. For the launch, I'll move it on this area here. Okay, it looks pretty good. We can also place some dimensions or add some labelings for our openings. Okay, let's select all the doors and then place some labels just to make the drawing interesting. I'm gonna go to the design tool palettes and activate the door tool, Control A to select all, and then I can go back to document, annotation, and label selected elements. Okay, so you see now it labeled with a different label that we're not planning to use. So the best way in ArchiCAD, for example, let's just hit escape. I want to select all these zone elements, labels for the doors, in order to change the settings. So the quickest way of doing it is to undo and then redo. ArchiCAD by default, it will select, if you undo and redo, it will pick or select all the elements that are lastly or newly created, which is a smart way of doing selection. So I'm gonna go here on the settings dialog and then let's start by picking the right label for our doors. So in this case, I can just use an ID, property label. So if you come down here on the symbol label settings, we can go to the next page. We want to access the frame shape. By default, it will come as grayed out. That means you cannot do anything here. We need to turn on the frame in the text style. So let's go at the top here under text style, then let's activate or check the box for frame. So if you go back, you'd see now your frame shape is active. You can come here and change whatever shape you want. I'll go with a circle for the sake of this demonstration, and then I'll uncheck the box or get rid of the leader line, which is this line on the preview. So let's get rid of this line to remain with just the ID and then the shape. So also we have the distance frame, the distance of the frame from the actual element, which is the door. It's at 30 millimeters by default. We want it to be at 0, straight right on the center of our door. So then you can hit OK. That's what we have. We can do the same to windows as well if you want. Okay, so I could go ahead and also optimize the what you call the IDs for our doors. For example, if you look at this door, it's door 00, it's D000. It has a lot of funny weird zeros. So you can select the door like that and then scroll here on the info box. Let's find the ID property. We can reduce the code into 3 characters like that. So for this one and that, I would use the same ID because they are the same size and type. So let's get rid of this and then I'll give it 2. So for this one, it's going to be the entrance door. It will get the number 1, which is 201. Stuff like this. Okay, it looks pretty nice. Now I can add some dimensions if I want. Let's quickly do that. There are different way of doing dimensions in ArchiCAD as well. You can go here under documents and then activate the dimension tool. You can manually place your dimensions like that by picking all the points and then click. But this will take ages to complete your dimensions. So the quickest way is to select elements like walls. I'll select elements that are on the same line, for an example. So in this case, I want to dimension this line. So I'll pick all the elements. So for example, these walls, I'm going to pick the thicknesses of it and then the positioning. For the horizontal walls, I'm going to pick the length and then the openings that are within or in that walls. So let's go to document and then annotation, automatic dimensioning, exterior dimensioning, and then we want to manage what we want to display in our dimension rows. So by default we have 4 rows that I believe it's fine. You can also optimize the spacing between the rows or the dimension lines, whatever they may be. So 500 is okay. I can just hit OK. Then I'll draw the line to place. Draw the line defining the length, and then I can use the hammer cursor, place the dimensions, stuff like that. Let's do this the other side. Pick the verticals and the horizontals walls like that, and then go back to documents, annotation, automatic dimensioning, exterior dimensioning. So hit OK. You can also decide to place dimensions on 4 sides if at all you've selected all the elements, but this normally I guarantee you it won't give you the 100% proper job. You have to go and clean up your dimensions after all, so it will also take time doing some cleaning up. It's a cool feature, but I like to do it side by side because that way it gives me chance to do it once without had to come back and do some cleanups. So in this case I'll just hit OK. Then I'll draw a line to indicate the side, then place with the hammer cursor like that. Perfect. So I have dimensions, and I can increase the size of the dimensions a little bit. So let's do the same. Activate the dimension tool and then Control A to select all the dimension. I just want to increase, walls are selected. Let's hit escape. Do the same again. Activate the dimension line, Control A, and then scroll in the info box, find the font size for the dimensions. Let me make it 3. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay. So you see it says 0.250. I don't like this kind of measurement, so I need to change my units, set up my units accordingly. So if you go to options, project preferences, then let's go straight to dimensions. I want to use plain millimeters instead of plain meters, okay, so that I can, yeah, it will be now reading accurately like that. All right, so pretty much cool with everything. I think here it needs an attention as well. This label, I can just move it somewhere here. All right, somewhere there, because it can't fit on this space. Maybe I should take out the area on the dimension, on the label, on the space. Let's activate the label and then okay, because we have other labels for openings, so that selection criteria won't work. So I'll quickly select this by shift hold and then add elements in the selection. So I'll go here under the settings. I'm going to get rid of the some content here for the area. So let's find the area. I can go to the next page. Okay, maybe on the first page. Where is area? Oh, it's here. Let's uncheck the box of measured area just to remain with the number and the name. So hit escape. I can take this one right on the center of this space. Perfect. Check out our MS BIM 2024 professional template update, available now in our store. Optimize your workflow and create amazingly high quality projects in no time with this template. All right, moving on with the second stage. I'm going to increase the size of the title by, let me say 6, just to have that, or maybe 8, something like this. Yeah, I can do it either way on the layout, but just decided to have it here. And then one thing that I need to do as well is to activate the zone tool and have the overall area, the total area that I'm going to place a label here. So let's select that by tapping. I want to select the entire zone, go to settings dialog, and then activate the cover fill. Change the cover fill to a space, then make sure under the cover fill background pen we change it to a transparent material to make it transparent. Okay, so the other thing is to place the label. I can just Alt in keyboard to activate the pick parameter, and then I'll click in one of the space label or room labels like that. Then I can tab to find the footprint area or the total area zone, and then click on it. So if you come here, let's select this label and place it somewhere there. Okay, and then I'm going to edit that, and I want to just call out the area, and then let's get rid of other content, which is the zone number, and then zone name. Okay, zone name we can leave it, just the zone number. Okay, then hit OK. So just move it right under the ground, and then I will tap again to select that zone and make it area. Let's just call it area, stuff like this. Obviously I don't want to have my area calculated or measured in millimeters, so what I need to do is to come here or go back again to options, project preferences, and then dimensions. So under the plain millimeters, I'm going to modify the area section, which is this part. If you click on it, it will give you the unit. Unit now is square millimeters. I'm going to change into square meters. Automatically ArchiCAD would want you to store this as a custom unit, whatever standard. So I'll just say store as, then I'll call it MSBM, then hit OK. Okay, so it will change this to that, to area now, but that won't affect my dimensions because I just specifically changed the area feature, some stuff like that. Pretty impressive. I can also increase the size to 5 just to match the title. Yeah, pretty much impressive. So we can move on, creating now the actual theme, white on black theme. So there are a couple of ways of achieving that. You can use pen sets and graphic overrides. Let's start with the pen sets, and then just to show you the both approach of both methods. For the pen set, obviously I have to select everything and then turn it to a white pen. For example, I can select everything like that. Obviously it will pick one of the elements, but you have to select elements by elements. So let's start with the walls. For example, I'll pick the, where is my walls, the wall 2. Yeah, there we go, and then hit Control A to select all the walls. What you need to do here is to change the cover fill or the hedge fill for the wall, and then change as well as the line type pen for the walls. So that's pretty much everything, right? So you have to go to the building materials in order for you to achieve that, and then go back to the settings dialog for the walls, and then under the floor plan section, that's where you can change the line pen. So you could see it will take you a long time in order for you to finish, because you have to take this all the elements one by one. Finisher, you have to do that, go back here, or you can just go here under info box, plan, floor plan and section, then you can manually change the elements like that. But this will take you time, and again, it's not useful. What if you want to change instantly again to a different style? That will take you time again to redo it again. So you want a smarter way of doing things in ArchiCAD. ArchiCAD, always we are seeking for efficiency. So the best way is to use graphic override combination. The first thing that I need to do is to place the background on my drawing. The background, I'm going to use the fill, I mean the mesh. For example, let's activate the mesh tool, and then I'm going to draw out a square using a geometry method of a rectangle. Let's just draw a box here, stuff like this, and then let's appreciate this in 3D. If you get this, there we go. That's the project that we are working with. So if we select this, make it I don't know why it's under concrete. it should be under Earth, right? Let's find Earth. Do you have Earth here? I don't see Earth. Okay, just generic environment. That's the commonly used term. So we need to drop down our mesh to my 150, maybe I think 200 here. Let's drop it by 200. 250. Yo, supposed to be 350. What's the level here? Let me select the slab and see the level. It's 350. Okay, so I might do it 400 to allow for the step. Perfect. But you see here I'm having a problem with the ramp, which is fine. It can be fixed later, so that's not part of the tutorial. So yeah, basically this is the project that I'm working on. I have a background, which is the mesh. Now let's shoot straight to the graphic override combinations. You can activate the window of the graphic override combinations down below here by clicking on this icon, or you can just go to documents and then find graphic overrides, graphic override combination, stuff like this. We need to create a new set of rules, because this is how it works, guys, in terms of the graphic override combination. You create rules and then you combine, or you set a combination of those rules in order for you to have a graphic override combination. That's how it works. So we are divided into two sections. This window, we have the section for the combinations, and then we have the section on the right for the rules. So what we need to do now is to create we need to start by creating a combination. You can hit on new here, and then I'm going to say white, oh sorry about that, let's say white on black. Okay, that's the name of the combination. And then now we need to move here under the rules and set rules, or create new rules, and then come and edit them here by using this button. So if you click here, there are default rules that comes with the ArchiCAD template. As you can see, there are plenty of rules, but there's nothing that can address the situation what we want to achieve. So we want to set our own rules, right? So I'm going to come here and say manage rules. Under manage rules, if you go down, also the window is divided into two sections. We have the rules on the side, and then we have the section for the overrides, because remember these rules, they override the pens and basically the graphical appearance of any element in ArchiCAD. Okay, I'm talking about your walls, your slabs, your beams, everything, your objects. We override their pen and feels appearance here. So we have the criteria section where we set the criteria. If we want to target a specific element, we can do it here. So yeah, it's in three parts. The rules itself here listed there, and then we have a criteria where we set our rules, and then we have the override style. All right, so let's start by creating the first rule, which is going to be I'm going to say all elements are to be white. So that's the first rule. I'm going to click on new and then say all white. Okay, that's the new rule. And then I come here under criteria, let's say all types. So I have element type, and then I say this element type should be, then I said all types instead of just being specific. Okay, I'm going to set another criteria as well, because we have our mesh as a background. That mesh is going to act as a black background, right? So we don't want to override the graphic appearance of that. So we're gonna set the mesh graphic override or graphic appearance separately. now I need to exclude it here on this criteria. So I'm going to go here and under add criteria or selection, then I go to main, element type, add. From here I would say I want to target the mesh tool, right, or mesh element. Then I'd say it's not. Okay, make sure here it's end in order for this to work. So I'll come down here under override styles. Then let's say I want to override the fill. No, I don't want to override the fill. Okay, let's override the fill. No, let's not override the fill. What you want to do is to override the pen. Okay, let's override the pen to a white color. Simple as it. And then we're going to set another criteria for furniture, but I think it's fine. Let's just test with this one first, and then you'd see the results. Let's hit OK, and then we come here, we add our newly created rule, which is this one. By default, ArchiCAD will highlight it as it is there, and then I'll say add. Okay, so if you hit OK, it will change all elements like this to be white, even though we're still yet to track our wall hatching. So I need to change the background to black. So I'll select the mesh, then I go here under floor plan and section within the info box. Let's click that, and then go down to the cover fill and change the cover fill to foreground, then change the pen to a black color. Perfect. So we're pretty much there. We need now to sort out quite a number of things here in order for this to be perfect. So we have a solid furniture. We don't want to have it solid, the objects, and then we have the hatching for our walls. We also have the hatching for our doors and windows. We don't want to have such. I'll start with the elements, with the objects. So let's activate the object tool here, and then hit Ctrl A to select all the objects. Let's go to its settings. Under the settings, I want to check a parameter of let's click here on this arrow for all the parameters, and then find representation and surfaces. So within this section, I want to change the fill type to be a space, then the fill background pen to be transparent. That should be fine with that. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Wow, this one left, I don't know why. And 2D representation, I want you to be transparent. Background pen should be transparent. Perfect. We also have issues with the openings. I'll start with the windows. Let's find the window tool and activate it. Go to settings, and here I'm gonna open the basic setting. If you want to learn further from like-minded people like yourself, we have a close-knit WhatsApp community group. Interact with beginners and advanced individuals like you to accelerate your mastery of ArchiCAD and related programs. And click on all parameters to find floor plan and section. I'm going to get rid of the use fill. Let's uncheck this box, then hit OK. Perfect. Do the same to doors. I'm going to activate the door tool, hit Ctrl A, go back to the settings, and let's click on this arrow to find the floor plan and section parameters, and then I'm going to also uncheck this box. Perfect. So that's basically what I wanted to do. You see, now it looks pretty much impressive. One last thing to tweak is the the hatch for our walls. For this, we're going to select one of the elements and then go to options, element attributes. You want to open the building materials for this, and then instead of using a hatch like this, we want to use a solid hatch, which is, we can go for foreground for example, and then hit OK. So that will change, and well, it didn't change the color. We can go back and, where is it, element attributes, building materials. Let's set the color, which is this, set the color to white, and hit OK. Boom. Nice. I like the results. Perfect. This is great. Yeah, pretty simple. You see, using graphic override combination doesn't really take time to set up this. So now let's create a presentation. Let's create a layout. So I'm going to go to the layout book, and then I'm going to create a different master, because it's for digital or social media, for example. So you need to create the size that caters for their requirements. So I'm going to hit on the new master down below here, and then set this as I would say Pinterest, because that's what I'm targeting. Pinterest. Then let's make the height okay, I just want it to be portrait, and then I can increase this to 100, yes, and then maybe this to 600. It has to be portrait. I don't know why it's landscape. Let's go back to the settings, select it, and then go down here on settings, then change to portrait, then hit OK. Perfect. That's what you want. One thing that I want to do is to get rid of the margin line or the border. Let's go back to settings and then set the margins to 0, because this is online drawing, not for printing. Okay, so from here I need to create a layout. So let's come here down below and say new layout. This I'm gonna say A1. Let's just say Pinterest post, and then choose the master layout that we created for Pinterest. We can say create. Perfect. So this is our layout. So I need to drag and drop the drawing here, or the plan here. Let's just go to project map and then drag and place your plan view. Okay, sorry about that. And then from here you can set by clicking on the edge. Make sure the offset edge is active on your pad palette, just to trim off that. Then I can Control D and move it at the top there. I can continue again and stretch this, and then Control D and then move it on a side like that, and then I can increase the scale by clicking in one of the corners here. Let me click on this one. I can increase the scale by the stretch, stuff like that, then trim it from the top, then move it that way, and then this side I can stretch it all the way so that it can be black all the way. Let's position it centrally. Make sure it's on the center. Update. Perfect. So if you have an image, a 3D render, you can also accommodate that. So for example, now I will move this at the top like that, and then maybe I can stretch it a bit to reduce the size to accommodate for the image. Let's do it again just a bit, then stretch all this. Update so that you can fit. Make sure also you stretch it down below, and then update. Perfect. I'll get rid of the label by scrolling down here in the info box. Let's find the title type, make it no title, because we have a title here. That's what we are using. And then I'll go to my folder. Let's go to my folder and find the 3D render, or I can just drag an elevation here. Perfect. I can say, for example, I can do this. Let's find a perfect view like that, and then right click, then say set the window size. Then I'm going to keep proportion. Make sure you lock this to keep the proportion. I want to make this HD. For example, HD is going to be, okay, let me start with this one. I'm going to make this 1080p. Okay, because here we use pixels. Then I can hit OK. Perfect. So in order for you, oh, sorry about that. You don't have to scroll. Let's go back to our 3D window. We chose the perfect, let's just go back there. We chose the perfect angle. Wow, we're gonna have a problem here. I think the best way is to go on the floor plan, and then let's mark you. For example, you don't want to take the whole. Let's mark you and right click, show mark you in 3D. Change the graphic override to simplified. I think the best way is to use a camera, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Should I use a camera to find a perfect angle, or I can just tweak it manually like this? It depends on your situation. So in this case, I like this view, so I need to save this view before I lose it again. You have to learn from your mistakes. So I need to go here under view map, then I'll collapse all these sections. Then under 3D, I'm going to right click in one of these. Let's just pick this, or can you just create a new view? Let me just save a new view here under this section. Then I'll call it custom, make it I'll say view. Okay, then create. So even if we can change whatever, we can still go back to this view. That's one thing I like about this. So I can right click now on the space, set the window size. Like I said, make sure the proportion is being kept, so that I can say 1080p to increase the size. Okay, once you are here, you don't have to orbit or scroll your mouse. That will mess up the view. So instead of messing up the view, right click on the view, on a view map, and then let's say redefine the current view, the current window settings, right? So that you can go back to our layout. Let's go back to our layout, and then let's bring that view here by drag and dropping. And then make sure it's fit. Something like that. But I would want a situation whereby it's very aligned with the edges. So I can go to documents and then draw line, construction lines from here going down like that. Do the same, something like that, just to be creative. And then you can increase the size. Okay, let me say Control D to move this by the corner. Then I'll say Control K. Control K is to scale a drawing or element. So I'm gonna scale from this point to this edge there, something like that. Let's crop unnecessary elements. You see now my drawing is out of the scale, so it's out of the layout, the sheet. So what I need to do is to select both of this. Let's select both of them and then scale them once. Control K, hit OK, and then I'm gonna scale them from the center of the layout, and then click the edge, bring it something there. Then I can Control D and move this up to fit my elements within. So for the drawing of the plane with the black background, we need to adjust the cropping and then update. So same to our drawing, our view, stuff like this. We need to get rid of the title for our view as well. Let's say no title. What is this title for? Okay, no title. Okay, this needs to be a bit down like that. Yeah, what do you think, guys, with this presentation? Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you're impressed, let me know. If not, let me also know, because that will help me to improve next time when I create another video. So be sure to subscribe if you are new here, and share this video with those that you think they will benefit from it. And just by supporting us, just hit that like button. Just hit like button for the algorithm. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Check out our Patreon membership platform to download all the assets used in creating our videos. Explore the shop feature to access all the products we offer, designed to enhance your architectural workflow.